Hello everyone, I'm Rachel and you're listening to Let's Talk Avatar. This is a watch through of The Legend of Korra. Isaac and I will be discussing each episode and giving our opinions on it. Just as a reminder, this podcast does contain spoilers for The Legend of Korra. This is a teen-rated podcast, so listener discretion is advised. Hello everyone, I'm Rachel.
I'm Isaac.
And welcome back to Let's Talk Avatar. And today, like I've already said something, today we're going to be talking about episodes 5 and 6 of The Legend of Korra. These episodes we're excited to talk about because they are very action-packed. They're the episodes that make you want to keep on watching.
Yes.
So Oh, sorry, go on.
But it's like the beginning of the love triangle arc, I would say.
Definitely. But we're just going to hop right into it today. We're starting with episode 5, which is titled The Spirit of Competition, which is appropriate when we're talking about love triangles and pro bending. So we're just going to summarize this real quick. So Mako has now started dating Asami, and Korra hates it because we all know Korra has a crush on Mako, and Mako kind of feels the same way about Korra, but he likes Asami. That's the love triangle there. And Bolin likes Korra. So at the beginning of this episode, the Fire Ferrets are doing really well. They have very good chemistry. And then drama takes place. Mako and Korra end up getting in an argument because, the love triangle situation. And then Bolin saves the day, so they end up advancing to the finals. And then Mako and Korra ends up dating Mako Korra ends up going on a date with Bolin.
It's so complicated.
It is. It really is. Korra's looking at it as like, we're friends, let's hang out. And Bolin's like, I want to be with you, girl. Hook it up.
Yeah, but then Korra's also leading both of them on?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like, obviously?
It's confusing. It's not confusing if you watch it happen. It's confusing explaining it. But anyway, this drama goes on. Mako and Korra end up kissing and Bolin sees, which causes drama in between them because they're a team and now their chemistry is completely thrown off because they're all mad at each other. And Korra ends up saving the day, which leads to them advancing to the final. Yeah, that's the one that causes... Yeah, Korra ends up winning, so they advance to the finals to play the Wolfbats. The competition before that Bolin was like leading them to the semifinals or something like that.
I don't even...
It's a very good episode. Like, the pro bending, the animation is amazing. It's entertaining, and that part of it's good. I mean, the love triangle is entertaining if you're into that. It just, in my opinion, and we talked about this with our friend Jackie today, it's just they didn't execute the love triangle in a good way.
Yeah, and Jackie brought up a good point. There's only so much time they had to add that in there. And I guess Mike and Brian had always wanted to do a love triangle with those characters. So, between seasons, where are you going to fit that in?
Yeah, very true. It just sucks, though, because I feel like as a viewer, I'm torn because I want Korra and Mako to be together. But their relationship is actually pretty toxic. Like, they argue all the time. And to me, at first you watch it and you're like, oh, they're just like an old married couple, whatever. But it's pretty toxic, And Mako's over here, like, two-timing these girls. And then Korra's causing drama between these brothers. And it's just like, stop. First of all, you're the Avatar. How do you even know how to socialize with people? You've been trapped in, like, the North Pole or something this entire time.
Can we talk about how dry Mako's personality is? Like, He's just angry for the sake of being angry and, like, an angsty... Teenager.
Yeah, I think his character, like, the way they drew him, I think they made him a very, like, attractive character, but his personality just lacks. Because he's such, like,
Don't get me wrong, he's, like, I feel like just as powerful as Korra if he, like, knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I love his design and his costume and all that. I just feel like they were like, okay, well, we got all this right. We can, like, half-ass the personality. We just need a really, like, angsty teenager in this group.
Yeah. Because we all agree, Bolin's, like, the Sokka of the group. He's a comedic relief. So you don't really look to Bolin for seriousness. But Mako, it's, like, full seriousness all the time, I mean, he has his moments, I guess, but it's
But
still
it's
just
very
like...
few and far between.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really strange because if you really look at the timeline, they just met a week ago and they're already trying to like get with each other. And it's like, calm down. You've only known each other for a week.
Well,
but then again, Asami hit him with her car and that same night they went out to dinner and now they're dating. I mean, I get it. It's a show. They only had this season to progress things along. They weren't sure where it was going to go after this, you know? But still, I'm just like, the love triangle is just kind of like, bleh.
I will say, though, knowing where Korra and Asami end up in the end of this series and watching these episodes back, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to wait till the end of the series to talk about that.
But that's like the only time I can understand.
Now that you know how it ends.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make sense out of it now, but when you watch it when you watch it not knowing that, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
But when you understand how it's going to end, then you can pick pieces together and be like, I guess I could see that. That's all I really have for this episode. It was entertaining. The pro bending, Isaac and I have said multiple times, we absolutely love.
I'd watch a whole series of pro bending. I'd watch a whole series of just them being friends together. Like, I feel like the pro bending was so short and sweet, but I feel like if they were to drag it out, maybe it wouldn't be as good. You know what I mean? Like, maybe
we would probably get tired of it in a way.
Yeah, maybe it was like the reason why it feels so good is because it was so short, but so good at the same time. Or like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
yeah, well, we get so many action-packed moments, like at the end of that episode when Korra takes them all down with like that one slice of water, and she ends up winning it for him.
The animation, amazing.
Okay, we're gonna hop into episode 6 because I have a lot to say about this one. This is one of those episodes that seem to be a lot longer than all the rest.
Yeah, it's like you think it's like multiple episodes in one.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. This one is called "And the Winner Is ...
Fucking wolf bats. Oh my God.
This episode starts with, so the other one ending, they've all kind of forgiven themselves and moved on. They're like, okay, we're friends. We need to work together. Let's just get past this love triangle thing, right? That's where they are now. So they've been training, practicing, and Amon, once again, when they're training, interrupts the radio saying that if they... Okay, all I can think about is our last podcast. We're like, get that off the airwaves. Amon interrupts the radio station pretty much saying, hey, if you don't cancel the pro bending finals tonight, I will attack.
Pro bending is canceled.
Yeah. He's trying to cancel pro bending. And Korra,
which we are
Mako,
not about. We will cancel Amon.
Anyway, yeah. Well, that's what Korra, Mako, and Bolin have been trying to do this whole time.
This whole time? Seems like they're having pretty fun pro bending.
Love triangles. They run to the courthouse or the city hall and they're like, hey, yo, you can't cancel pro bending. If you do, then all of these people are going to be let down. You're going to let Amon win. And then you have Tarlok there that's like, I'm not going to risk your guys' safety. And Tenzin's definitely like that. He's like, no, we cannot allow this to go on.
Okay, so when I watch these episodes back and I look at the way just Tarlok. I just look at the way that Tarlok like carries himself and talks to them. It's so obviously manipulative.
It is so condescending to everyone and manipulative.
It is so obviously manipulative,
even
right?
to Tenzin.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
everyone
does no
he
one
talks
else see
to.
that?
No, everyone he talks to, it is clearly manipulative. Like, he is the epitome of someone who manipulates people, you know? Anyway, they're trying to stop them from canceling this. First of all, they work so hard, I get that, but it's also like, okay, what about the safety of the people watching?
Yeah.
But Lin Beifong shows up, and she's like, no, don't cancel it. I'll bring extra security. I will be responsible for everyone there. And so Tarlok is like, fine, if you're going to be responsible, then go ahead and do it. So they go ahead, and it's now the fire ferrets against the wolf bats. And these wolf bats have paid off the referees, so they're winning by default pretty much because they're being allowed to do all these illegal moves within the game.
Like crushing rocks and putting them in water and then shooting that
like
at
headshots. Yeah. There's that cool moment where they have to do a coin toss, and it's the water bender, so it's Korra and what's his name? Kano or Tano?
Tano.
Tano.
How did I
he
forget
drives
already?
me crazy. But anyway, she ends up fighting him, and she wins, and so they win that round.
Yeah, but then he immediately gets revenge, and I'm like, really?
Anyway, they end up winning out of because
they cheated.
But it doesn't really even matter because Amon shows up like he said he would, and Tenzin and Lin automatically get electrocuted.
Favorite? It's like top 5 favorite scenes in Korra ever for me is this scene. So before the pro bending started, the like championship game, Lin and all of her people are like scouting the area and making sure no one's there. But what they don't realize is Amon's plan was to have people come in, random citizens, you think they are, with like sneak in their gloves. Mm-hmm. So then they can electrocute people during the game. Which is just crazy. Like, how do you think of that?
It's creepy. It's brilliant, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he doesn't only have these people hidden within the audience, but then they break in to the actual stadium. So all of these people, all the officers, Tenzin, Lin are at this point, they've been electrocuted.
But it's like the storyboarding is so good. Like the slow-mo, and it shows the people in the audience like lifting up their mask, and it's just like, oh.
It gives you that sense of fear. Like it does instill in you that like, oh, this isn't good.
They did such an amazing job at doing that. The music, and it's like the slow build.
You know what I really... Okay, I'm going to finish summarizing, and then I'm going to say this. Korra, Mako, and Bolin are in the water at this point. They get electrocuted. How they don't die, I don't know. But Amon has, at that point, taken over the main stage where the wolf bats are, takes away their bending, and then is pretty much like, I will fully, like, equalize the entire world. That's his goal. And then he ends up lifting up, and Lin has woken up. Korra has escaped because Pabu's chewed the cord that they were tied up in. And then it's pretty much a fight scene of Lin and Korra fighting Amon's henchmen.
But before that, they literally blew up the pro bending stage with a huge bomb or explosion at least. Like, they're literal terrorists.
They annihilated that stadium for sure.
Yeah.
But Korra and Lin end up fighting, and then at the end of it, they just get away. Like, Amon and his crew get away.
They put up a good fight, though. The chemistry between Korra and Lin Beifong. So
good. It's like a telepathy kind of thing. Like, they don't even have to communicate. They just know what to do.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so when they get out of the water, or they get untied by Pabu, and Korra, like, goes on the water, and she's like, I'm gonna go get Amon. Mm-hmm. And she goes in the water to get, like, power, and then shoots up, but it's not enough power to get all the way up past the stadium into, like, his airship. And then Lin notices, catches her with her little, like, metal coil, and then does this cool, like, swing around thing where she yanks her into the air even more, and it's just like, dang. And the music playing, and it's just animation, so good.
It is amazing.
It gives me goosebumps.
You know what I think I really like about this episode is the exchange between Tenzin and Lin. There's a moment where they're watching Korra play, and Lin's like, how was your, like, sweet-tempered father reincarnated into that girl?
Yeah.
She has such, like, an attitude about her, you know?
She said she's tough as nail.
Yeah, and then Tenzin's like, yeah, it reminds me of someone I knew when I was younger, implying Lin Beifong.
They did that so perfectly, because that happened, that dialogue happened right before this scene.
Yeah, literally, like, right before. And then you begin to see Lin Beifong's and Korra's relationship start right there. You know, like, you start to see them work together, and it works out really well. I mean, although Amon ends up getting away, like, it's still a good battle. You know, they still put up a good fight, and I mean, how much can you really do? That's what I wanted to say. They did such an amazing job with Amon as a villain right here, because they give him victories. You know how you watch some television shows and it's always the good guy winning all the time, and it's like, okay, this isn't realistic. They give villains
victories, but it's not like big victories like this. Like, Amon took away the championship pretty much has taken away already everything that means to Korra, minus like her friends and family, right? Like all of her interests gone. Mm-hmm. And now she just has to fear about him even more.
Yeah, well, and not only that, you yourself as a viewer feel scared. You're like, what's going to happen? Like, is she going to actually be able to take him down? Because look at how easy it was for them to take down Tenzin and Beifong, you know? Like, you feel scared for a moment. You're like, what's going to happen next? How are they ever going to defeat this guy? He's always one up on them.
I will say the writing isn't the best, like when you compare Avatar The Last Airbender to Korra, but at least for me, season 1, I feel like they do such a good job at writing. They're really good at the easy writing techniques. They're so good at it to where it makes you want to keep watching. Like we were just talking when Lin has that dialogue with Tenzin right before that scene. It's like, you know,
it's like a foreshadowing. Almost.
Yeah, but it's like perfectly placed there, and the dialogue makes sense. It's not out of place. It's not forced, but it's still kind of like, okay, this is what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're really good at that easy writing techniques they can just put in there, and it's just like, I guess, satisfying. Like the payoff is so good afterwards.
Yeah, well, I guess at this point it's very satisfying because we haven't really seen that much of Beifong, and you're interested because you're like, hey, you're Toph's daughter. I'm really interested in the type of person you are, and the only side of her you've seen is kind of like an a-hole, you know? Not kind of, absolutely an a-hole. So it's really cool to see her start to interact with Team Avatar, I guess you can say, because I would consider Tenzin part of that in a way, and yeah, so these episodes were just episode 6 was definitely action-packed. If you have not seen it, again, if you've not seen any of Legend of Korra and you're listening to this, just go watch it. It's worth it. It's really hard for me. I have to admit, you guys, I've been trying to resist watching, but I've already seen all of season 1. I watched after we recorded last week because I could not stop watching. I had to see how it finished. It has been a little bit since I've seen it, and so I just was like, ugh, it felt good. It gave me the satisfaction I wanted. You guys know at the end of Korra season 1, it's just a good moment there, and I can't wait to talk about it. I'm sorry. I haven't watched any further though. I mean, I've watched season 1, but I refuse to watch season 2 till we get there because I don't want to bog my mind down, I guess, because it's already hard not to just go full force with it.
Who is your favorite character at the end of
I was going to ask you that.
Or season? Episode
season 6? Yeah, there's 2 secret seasons you guys probably don't know about. Directed by us.
That'd be the worst season ever.
Beifong.
Same.
Yeah, definitely her. Because they do a really good job of making you start to care for her, you know? So she's a character that you're like, wow, she's actually not as bad as I thought, and I'm really interested in her backstory, you know?
I'm going to say a close second for me on the villain side of things, or like just the random character, would be Tarlok.
Tarlok.
Because I love characters that you instantly hate. I love how the writers can instantly make you like think, I don't like this person.
Yeah,
and for that, true. I like that character because it's perfect for Korra to face that type of person. Like, you know, she's already dealing with a lot, and they're like, oh, let's just add this guy in there who you can't get rid of easily because he's literally part of the Council of Republic City, and he's an a-hole, and he's gonna make your life even more hell in the coming episodes.
Yeah.
Like, I just love how they're like, here's the real threat, but this is what Korra's dealing with daily.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like, Amon's not really tangible for Korra, but right now it's Tarlok.
Yeah.
And he's going to make your life hell before you even get to Amon.
And she doesn't really even understand what's wrong with him yet. You know,
yeah,
like
she doesn't know his motives. She knows there's motives, but she doesn't know. So it's making her even more stressed, fearful again.
Yeah.
So it's just like perfect on the writer's part to be like, we need this character. Like, imagine this season without Tarlok.
Yeah, he has to be there. He adds to it for a good reason, you know? All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. As always, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate your support. Follow us on our Instagram at Let's Talk Avatar. We are trying to do more giveaways, so if you're interested, check us out there. You want to add anything?
I think we're good.
Alright, guys, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Have a great rest of the week, and we will see you next week with another episode of Let's Talk Avatar.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. You can find us on our website at nonessentialmedia.com, on Twitter at Let's Avatar, and on Instagram at Let's Talk Avatar. Join us next week for another episode. And as always, thank you so much for all your support.